Kia ora, BariBabes. Welcome back to another BariBabes podcast, a space where we go beyond the surgery, beyond the scales, and into the mindset, habits, and heart of what it really takes to live your best life after weight loss surgery. I'm your host, Lauren Pete, bariatric nurse specialist, mindset coach, and someone who's walked this journey just like you. The messy parts, the healing, and everything in between. This episode is one that's going to hit close to home today. And we are so excited to bring you another episode. How's it going, Maree?
Good. And how are you?
Good. Living the dream. Living that post-op BariBabe bliss. Actually, I went shopping a couple of weeks ago, and how good that I could fit a size 8 New Zealand dress, which I've never been able to do before, which is just wild, and just blew my mind. I didn't end up buying it. I bought the size 10 because it was a little bit clingy, but so exciting. Like, love a non-scale victory, hey.
Isn't that so awesome? Like, and a size 8, like, smashing it.
I feel like when I was even like 11 and 12, I was already into like size 12, 14. So side note for everybody listening, I wasn't a big child. I was literally skin and bone and tall. And so I didn't gain my weight till my later teenage years. Call it relationship weight gain or call it just finding my feet as an adult. I don't know. But yeah, I was recently small when I was a child, but I just I got hips and I got boobs pretty early on, and so then nothing kind of sat right, and I felt uncomfortable compared to my peers and all that fun story stuff. And yeah, so the craziness to be even able to fit into a size of clothing that small just blows my mind. And I haven't even had skin removal surgery yet. So I'm so excited for that when I'm able to have skin removal surgery, just how amazing clothes are actually going to sit. Yeah. The crazy thing is, like, looking back on those teenage years, right, is just how for not everybody, but for particularly me, I used to think I was so fat when I so wasn't. It just blows my mind a little bit, just how negative I even back then thought of my body and of myself. And you're like, no wonder I ended up big. Like, there was so much dislike for myself. And someone actually said to me one time when I was on helping run a retreat, was that we actually grew up in the pro Anna era. So like all the magazines and everything, like, kids, if you don't know what a magazine is, but all the magazines were just filled with people who were like just gaunt as anything and just skin and bones and nothing else. No curves weren't celebrated. So when you've got 12-year-old me with big boobs and big hips, and I'm like, why don't I look like the people in the bloody magazines? And no wonder we grow up with complexes, right?
Yes, yeah, exactly. But it's really interesting, right? Like the way that you talk to yourself, and then so that's quite different because you're younger. But now, when people talk quite negatively about themselves, that's kind of what leads to more like eating and binging and things. So, like, it's really focusing on the way you're talking is such a huge thing. And yeah, like that self-talk to which then leads to that whole self-trust and stuff. Like, it's so important, and I don't think it's really that clear how much impact it has. Like, it's just a huge thing. So
Yeah, like
yeah.
we script this narrative, right, from childhood of how we talk to ourselves, how we think about ourselves, everything that we internalize, all the words that we don't share, but we internally critique, whether it's come from somebody else or whether it's come from the way someone reacted to you. But that language carries through time and time again. It's like patterns. Humans love patterns. Even the world, actually, nature loves patterns as well, right? That's why things are symmetrical. That's why things look beautiful, because they're the same. And so how we, like, humans are literally creatures of habit, and so we repeat these patterns over and over and over and over again. And then the worst thing is, as humans, we expect the outcome to be different. And the reality is, if you keep talking to yourself like you hate yourself, that you're disgusting and you're the worst thing that ever existed, and that's very dramatized, but there'll be a point where you do talk to yourself like that.
Yeah.
Then how do you expect to love yourself? How do you expect to enjoy the new body that you've got from having surgery? Like, that just there's a real disconnect in even, the identity work around who am I after surgery. And that's a big one that we address in the club, is because when you look at who you are as a person, when you look at all the reasons what got you to where you are post-surgery, then everyone goes, but I don't know who I am other than a person who diets. I have no idea. And so inside the club, whilst I promote that, we deal with regain. What we actually deal with is actually finding out who the heck you are, how you got here, how to not get there again, and how to just be in a world and be happy and love who you are. And this month inside this month inside Success Club has been all about self-care and self-love, because it's February. It's all around that love and caring for yourself. And you can't do that if you don't know how to talk to yourself and talk to yourself with kindness and care and look after that inner child and all the amazing work that we do. But until someone can roadmap that for you, it just gets too hard. And you're like, I don't even know where to start. I don't know. That sounds a bit wild. Like, what am I doing with my inner child? Should do what now? But that's the reality of having someone to gently guide and coach you, right? And we see it time and time again, and even in the Success Club group chat, where people just get lost and confused, and it's around, actually we're just shepherds. We're just like, we've been down this track before, and we're just actually just guiding you and showing you the little steps that you need to take, what path we need to go down to get you where you want to be right now.
Mhm. Definitely. And
Yeah.
not being so angry at yourself and overwhelmed and just overthinking, right? Like it's just so easy to get into that and just spiral, and just expecting that everything should be perfect. You've wasted your tool, because you've eaten some crappy food. Like it is what it is, but you don't need to dwell on it, because then that's the worst thing for it, like it just leads to more and more. So but yeah, mentioning it in the Success Club is just, it takes away a lot of that shame. Like it's
Yeah.
such a huge thing. And I don't think you wouldn't realize it unless you actually are doing it, that, oh my gosh, look at how different I feel now. When I mentioned to you that on Sunday, and I mentioned it in the Success Club last night, on Sunday, I ate a whole lot of crap food. And while I was eating it, I was trying to work out, okay, so why is it that I'm doing that? So I was trying to identify what it was, and especially because I'm an emotional eater, and what it was that was triggering it. And I was quite tired. There were a lot of other things that were kind of going on. And so I'm like, okay, that's what it is. I did keep eating. But I knew that the next day I was like, all right, these are the things in place that I'm going to do to ensure it doesn't go to that next day. So I wasn't guilty about it. It is what it is. And yeah, and because of that, I was able to like get right back on. It doesn't feel like a diet. It's just life. But I don't need to beat myself up about it, because then that would just be so bad. And also, then I would have had a lot of the shame, and I wouldn't have been able to mention it. But there was no judgment when I said it. I was just, which is really awesome. I could just share it, and everybody gets it. Like it just
Mm.
makes sense. So
The camaraderie inside Success Club is unreal. Like, I I think I'm going to work and working with all these amazing people that we do inside the club, and I don't see myself as more than or any better. It's really like I get as much out of attending these meetings as everybody else, because I get to share my highs and lows as well. I get to share what's going on in my life. I get to be human, and I think that's what's missing, when we wear white coats of the medical professional world, is that, it's I am the dictator and I know best. And yeah, I might have some tools that I can impart upon you, but like any condition, you're kind of the expert in it, right? Like, like every single club member, every single person who's had weight loss surgery knows diets inside and out. They understand how to diet. That's real. Me teaching it, like, that's why I think nutrition is such a small part of our Success Club.
mm,
Not because it's not important to eat the right foods, but because you know what the right food is, and it's actually around having the tools to make the choice easier, rather than feeling like I'm on another freaking diet. Because
mm,
I don't know about you, but that's why I
yeah,
had surgery, was to get away from dieting.
yeah,
It obviously didn't work.
yeah.
And
It actually
'Cause
just puts so much pressure on as well. Like being on a diet adds extra pressure, the energy. I don't want to spend my energy on that, like at all.
and like you said, it starts that spiral, right? Of oh
Mm,
man, I couldn't even stick to that. How could I? Like
yeah,
I'm useless. I'm absolutely
yeah.
useless. I couldn't stick to this diet. But what? You're
Mm,
not useless. Each and every one of us have has an amazing purpose in this world. An amazing purpose, a reason to get out of bed in the morning, a reason to show up in your life. Some days it might feel harder, but the reality is that yeah, we might not know what our purpose is. We might not understand it yet, but you're making a huge impact on somebody else's life just by being here.
100%, yes.
And when we make choices that sabotage, when we feel like every decision we make is the wrong one, it's really easy to get into that kind of circle of depression where it just starts spiraling. And whilst it feels tricky when you're spiraling, sometimes you just need someone to chuck you in oar, someone to just drag
Mhm.
you just a little bit off to the side so you don't get pulled out. And that's all we do. Just one small step at a time, just getting you back on track because you are going to fall off. But I tell you what, the biggest one that I had, I don't know if I shared this last podcast episode, but the biggest one I had was a few weeks ago, my car blew up. Ah! It was not good. Not good at all. While I was driving it with children in the car, it was pretty scary. Luckily, we wouldn't go very fast, and I could pull off, but it just wasn't good. And it's going to take like 3 months to fix. So it's been hella stressful, hella stressful. And I just have not enjoyed that experience at all. And with the heightened level of stress, right, comes that ingrained decades of coping. And traditionally, my coping skill would have been, I'm just going to eat because I don't like how I'm feeling right now. That at the crux of it, that is exactly what I would have done. However, for the first time ever, that was not my impulse kick. That was not my way of coping with that situation. I am very ADHD, me, right? Does really well in crisis. Hence why being a nurse kind of suits people with ADHD because we get to run from emergency to emergency. But the reality for me is that usually it's a kick down from that. So you do deal with the situation and then afterwards it's like, oh, I just need to feel better. I'm gonna eat some chocolate to feel better. I'm gonna buy junk food or I'm gonna get takeaways or I'm gonna do whatever. But it doesn't serve me long term. And a lot of us tend to be people who really enjoy the short term reward
Mhm.
pathway because it's easy. And we kind of just go, oh well, about the long term rewards. And the long term rewards are so much better. Like, how much better does it feel to see those scales going down after regaining? How much better does it feel to fit back in those clothes again? And it lasts longer, right?
Yeah.
That feeling of, oh man, I look good in my clothes now. How good.
Yeah.
And so, but what I'm saying is for the first time ever, it wasn't my knee-jerk reaction, which is wild. But that's just a testament to the tools. And I always like to say I'm just a couple of steps ahead because that is the reality. I'm not perfect. I had surgery too for a reason, right? Like there was eating behaviors and habits and everything. And I'm 7 years down the track. It's not like I just had surgery yesterday. Um, and for years inside all of my coaching, it's been like, we're just going to get you back on track. It's around how quickly we can get back on track. But what's really cool now is I have evidence that one day that getting back on track isn't even needed, which is
Mhm.
so exciting.
Yeah.
So exciting. And so yeah, I want that for everybody. I really, really want that for everybody because the reality of feeling like you're always failing sucks. It feels like you just can't win. And I don't want people going through life feeling like you just can't win and you're getting kicked over and over and over again. And so I want you to know that one day you won't have to keep getting back on track because you'll just stay on track like a train. You'll just stay on the track all the time, stop at the stoplights, go at the green lights, and just live your life. And that is freaking exciting to me. Is that exciting for you, Maree?
It's exciting. And I think you should feel so proud though, for, with the car and not going to food because it is a really hard thing to do. So it's just really awesome. And So you should feel super proud of yourself.
I am because I spiraled. I shared this in the club, but I really spiraled after that car blew up the next morning. I always look, like Maree said, around where are these emotions coming from? What is it trying to tell me? What is my core values, or what is at the crux of where this behavior is coming from? And the next morning after my car blew up, I had full on panic attacks. Like woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning. ADHD brain probably was thinking about it all night. But I woke up in the early hours of the morning going, oh my God. And I literally hyperventilating, I just sweating, just a hot mess. And I really had to wonder, like, why? Why was I feeling like this? Where was this actually coming from? Because it's just a car. But what the reality is that my car is my life, and it's not around living my life. Like, I don't care about the actual car. It's the safety that having a vehicle brings. And for those of you that have lots of children, there's a few of us out there. I have 4 kids, and for me, it's safety factor. I needed to know that if there's something happened, that I could get there. I might not be able to do anything, although I hope being a nurse that I have a little bit of skills and to be able to help. Or it was also last week of holidays and getting them to school, and I was already, my nervous system was shot from school holidays. Like I was already overwhelmed. Having kids home for 8 weeks is almost the equivalent of being locked in jail, I reckon. And so I was so ready for them to go back, and then feeling like I was going to be trapped with them longer if I couldn't get them to school. And then yeah, my brain really started to spiral there and started to go into the, well, if I can't get them to school, my physical limitations of having MS and being able to actually get places, and then letting, there was a big one on letting people down. And so, letting myself down. I was really looking forward to moving into my new office. So I was feeling really disappointed around that might have had to go on the back burner. I was also feeling really disappointed that Kenzie was about to start a new school, and then being on the back foot of how the heck do I get her to school by 8:45 if I was having to bike and get people there. And it was really, really, really overwhelming. So when I say it was stressful, it was our literal only vehicle. My husband had a work truck, but it was the literal only vehicle I had to get these kids anywhere. Um, and so the stress levels were huge, and I had underestimated, and I didn't even realize that that was going to be a reaction of mine until I was experiencing it. So when you start to actually even uncover where that was all coming from, for me, it came back to safety, right? And having a mess, I needed to feel safe. I didn't want to feel trapped at home. I didn't want to feel stuck. Because I think there's a part of me that feels like one day I might get stuck. One day I might not be able to leave the house without being dependent on other people. And whilst I mentally started to prepare myself for that, I'm not ready for it yet. And so I just tailspinned. And so when I say I could have reached for food, oh yeah, old me 100% would have. So it was actually a huge milestone to not have that as an knee-jerk reaction. Huge, huge, huge. So yeah, I just wanted to share that story with you guys, because I think when you truly understand the emotions under what you're doing, like truly, truly understand and start to question the why, that's when amazing change can start happening. And you need the tools, obviously, to be able to do that. It doesn't just happen. And even knowing how or when to ask why, right, Maree? It's not like it's not as simple as just being like, I don't feel like that.
Yeah.
Because you won't get the answer you're looking for.
No.
But yeah, so we've touched on a lot today, but at the crux of it is really the tools absolutely key to your success long term. And if you take nothing from this, is just start to ask yourself why. Why do I do the things that I do? What is this behavior? Where is it coming from? And if I can't understand this, how do I get help? Where do I look for help? And you know, I I don't actively go out and promote all of my stuff to our community. I think I could, because I think it's absolutely incredible. The actual, if you put in the work, the amazing achievements that people can have. But I want people to want it. I'm not after people who are just after the next fad diet, because that's not the place for you, right? And I get frustrated when I see people wanting the next fad diet, because injectables, right? I know there's other coaches even in this bloody industry that are using injectables to keep their weight under control. That's not the answer, guys. It's a band-aid. And I get frustrated. I get really, really frustrated because you cannot preach to be supporting people and loving people and getting them where they need to be, and then just using injectables or using another diet to get them there because it's not long-term sustainable. And if you actually do the work, right, Maree, like we have, it's it's not easy. And again, it's not that short-term gratification, but long-term, you won't even think about even worrying about using these kind of other short-term band-aids because you know that that's not the solution.
Mhm.
Have you ever considered doing the injectables, Maree, or any other weight loss support?
Nah, not really. I mean, like it's crossed my mind, but I've got no interest in really another diet. I quite like the freedom of being able to eat what I want, and so I already have that because I don't beat myself up, so if I go out to dinner, I don't mind having some dessert, like things like that. I don't because I'm not on a diet. I want to be able to live the life I want to live, and I just feel that that would be another diet. So I just don't want it.
Yeah, and me too, and me too. And I think that's a big value of mine is
Mm,
that I had surgery because I didn't want to be on another diet. And that's why
mm,
you had surgery too, right?
yeah,
We were done.
yeah,
We knew that didn't work. We're sick of it.
yeah.
And so to be having just crammed down our throat as a community, oh, this is the next answer. Oh, you regained. Oh no. The reality is that it's normal for our community after surgery to have a bit of regain. That is totally normal. But if you're finding that it's a habitual regain where you're eating the wrong foods and doing the things that aren't serving you, that's behavioural. And no amount of medication in the world is going to change that behaviour. It's just not.
And don't you want the freedom, right? Like the freedom of just being so comfortable with food, like you don't have to freak out. You don't have to have that anxiety, that overwhelm on, if somebody says, "Oh, do you want to come grab a coffee? Like, let's go out for lunch," or, like just being like, yeah, and you can just actually enjoy the company, not freak out in your mind about and use all the energy about the food. And because that's all I feel would happen, because any diet, that's all you're thinking, right? And you're trying to focus on on your company and your loved ones, but actually you're like, oh my God, am I even allowed this? Your mind's just going crazy.
Even before I had surgery and a couple of years after surgery, I was so stuck in that mindset of what's my next meal? What am I going to eat today? What am I having for breakfast? What am I having for lunch? What are we doing for dinner? What are we doing for dinner? What are we doing for dinner? And I literally, ADHD brain, right? Get stuck in that from lunchtime. What are we having for dinner? What are we having for dinner? What are we having for dinner? And then it's executive dysfunction. I don't know. I couldn't decide. So
Mhm.
takeaways it is. And so, like that overwhelm of thinking and being stuck with food on your mind all the time sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And I
I
get,
love that I don't have that now. So even, on Sunday, I was like, okay, so I did actively plan what I was going to have on Monday. I did have a couple of things that changed that I'd forgotten about, but that's okay. And I had it for today and I made sure I had exactly what I wanted. But that was only one day because I knew that I kind of needed that extra part because I had eaten like crap. But I don't want that every day of my life. Like I've just got no interest. My mind already goes crazy. I don't need it to be added on by food.
yeah, or food noise, right? And I think
Yes, yeah,
the
yeah.
tools actually help to quieten that food noise. I wouldn't
Mm.
say it goes away completely, unless you actively work on it. But how it was is a heck of a lot quieter than it ever used to be, right?
Yes, I think the only thing I now really focus on is, oh, will that make me dump? Because I
Yeah.
don't want the dumping, and so
Yeah.
that's the part that I'll, yeah, focus more on. Not, I don't care about the calories. I don't care about really, yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
So, and
That's
that's really
what,
nice. I feel free.
yeah, freedom. And
Um,
that's right. It's getting free from that food trap. Because I really feel like food becomes a trap for us after surgery because then it becomes, am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? Is it another diet, another diet, another diet, another diet?
Mhm.
And nah, nah, I'm done with that.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
done.
I'm done too.
And and then that if you want to choose to live like that for your rest of your life, go for gold. But nah,
Yeah.
nah. So what else have we got on the cards for the next year with Success Club? We have a little bit, eh? There's a little
We
bit coming
do.
up. Should we
Yes.
share? Do you reckon we should share, or is that too early?
Go on. Share a little
Going on,
bit.
you reckon? Okay. So one of our lovely team members who would love a shout out on this podcast, I'm sure, Tash, is in the process of organising our conference, our yearly conference, which is so exciting. And it's going to be in the South Island this year, which I'm not going to give away any more details than that, but it is going to be amazing from what she's already organised. There might be some rowboats involved, much to Maree's disgust.
Yeah.
Maree's like, "Where's the life jacket?" But yes,
Safety first.
safety first. It is gonna be absolutely amazing. It's gonna be a weekend of self-care, self-love, sprinkled in with a little bit of let's how to help you. So unlike a lot of retreats where it's information heavy, that's not what we're doing. We're not doing preaching. We're not doing any of that. We are having a bariatric weekend away where we get to love on ourselves. We get to have conversations. The conversations are going to be amazing because the coaching team is all going to be there supporting you, cheering you on, and just having the conversations that you need to have right now. So every conversation we have inside the club is always, always, always meeting you where you're at, not trying to change you, not trying to make you someone you're not, but actually just meeting you where you're at and giving you a path forward. And so that's what these conversations on this conference are going to be amazing because you've got a room full of amazing experience of people who have regained, people who have struggled, and everyone on our team has had surgery, which is so cool. And such a really great team to be around. Like we just get each other and have so much fun. You hear on these podcasts, Maree and I just chat and laugh and chat and laugh and chat and laugh. And there's not going to be any of that missing on this conference. It's just going to be everyone's going to be hearing us giggling for days. So yeah, you definitely don't want to miss that. We'll be opening it up to our club first because that's where all our important people are. And then if there's any spots, we'll be opening it up to the rest of you. But we really would love to have you there because it's just going to be amazing. It's just going to be a weekend to celebrate you and really just make the most of your bariatric journey and meet people who think and feel the same as you do, which I think is so valuable for our community. And on that note, these podcasts are now sponsored by BariBody protein powder, our very own collagen-based protein powder designed by myself. And we have separated the brands out. So now BariBody has its own website. So www.baribody.co.nz. That's BariBody.co.nz. And we are having a new website launch where you get $5 off your first order. So if you've already ordered BariBody before through my existing website, don't you worry, you still get that $5 off. So it is anybody that's new to the new website. So all of you, you get $5 off your first order. If you have yet to try BariBody, please do. There is also free samples available to order online. On the website, you just pay for shipping. So yeah, please do order it if you want to try it. Try it, buy a month, then subscribe, and we just get it on autopilot to your door so that you don't have to think about it anymore because protein is so important after surgery and probably one of the biggest things that I heard on and on and on and on and on and about. And I know there's medical professionals out there that are like, oh, collagen isn't so good after surgery, but I want to tell you that collagen does have its place. And the reason why I am very pro collagen and why I even developed a collagen-based protein powder is because whey-based sucks. Whey-based makes your tummy sore. It can cause bloating. You get like 3 sips in and you're just full because it's all milky and just, yeah, it often just makes us feel nauseous and not very good. It can go clumpy. You might get yucky flavors, and it's really hit and miss, right? In terms of flavors, yeah, until you find one that you actually like it, it's worth hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So that's why we designed BariBody. It's completely tasteless, dissolves in hot and cold, no lumps, and check out some videos on the website because Maree even does some taste tests for us, which is great. Just to show you, and she's not paid to do that. She just wanted to try it and see, which is very brave. and see what it's like. I searched the world to develop this product for you guys, so I really want you to support our bariatric community because let's not send money overseas. Let's have BariBody absolutely front and center of our New Zealand bariatric community because we want to support New Zealand. We want to see New Zealand thrive again. I'm really big on that. I think supporting local businesses, get our economy going is really where we need to be. And so I'm hoping BariBody is part of that solution. We've been around 3 years, so we're the BariBody. I've been around a bit longer in terms of coaching, but BariBody's been around 3 years and we just are aiming to change how post-op life goes. And with that is making sure you hit your protein goals because it's going to stop hair loss. Actually, I recorded a video the other day, Maree, and I'm actually going to talk to it here because I think it was hilarious. So I took my mind back to about 6 months post-op and I was like, oh my gosh. I don't know if you remember, you might not have gone through this, but about 6 months post-op is when you get like this huge hair shred. Like all your hair feels like it's falling out. And I have very fine hair, but there's a lot of it. And so I wasn't as worried as some of the people that messaged me, but one day I was having a shower about 6 months post-op, and this is in this really awkward stage where you're like, I've lost so much weight now, but I still don't look skinny. You're like, look in the shower, you're like, but there's still so much of me, but you should see how far I've come. And so there's that real mental challenge where you're down, I don't know, 20, 30, whatever kilos. And you're just like, but I still look fat and this sucks. But I'm like washing in the shower, washing my hair. And next thing I look down, it like looks like there's a rat in the bottom of the shower. I'm not even kidding you. And it was all my hair that had fallen out. And I was mortified. I like almost screamed because I thought it, like the side of my eye, I was like, oh no, oh no. And I had no knowledge really back then. Like I knew kind of the communities weren't, this was 7 years ago, the communities weren't very knowledge at this point on some of this stuff, but what I didn't realize was one, the huge hormonal shift that goes on around 6 months post-op, but just the impact that protein has on keeping your hair. So you can't lose huge amounts of weight and expect to keep your hair. You just can't because your body goes, especially if you're doing it via restriction, right? Which is what surgery is. We are restricting our caloric intake. So your body goes, I have to spend this energy elsewhere. I have to prioritize resources. And sorry, here, you're just not a priority right now. And so it goes, goodbye. And it ends up in the bottom of the shower, all in your hairbrush. And it's terrifying as a woman. As a man, I'm sure, well, it might be terrifying for a man too if you've already got a bit of balding patterns. But yeah, it absolutely terrified me. So don't do that. But if you do find your hair falling out, do look at biotin, look at increasing that protein, because yeah, getting those nutrients is gonna really, really help your body hold on to some of that stuff. And it's literally your body going, I can't do this anymore. So yeah, please do use BariBody if you are concerned about your hair, skin, nails, getting enough protein in, and making sure that you're eating a really nutritionally balanced diet. So making sure you're getting your protein in, your dairy and your eggs and also occasionally getting a little bit of that fiber, so vegetables, fruit and whatnot. But yeah, so that's why I'm such a big big advocate of protein post-op, and why yes has its place, but equally if you can't tolerate it, don't force yourself to drink something you don't like. That's just not going to make you want to do it. That's not how a habit's formed.
And I'll just say, even though you can see it on one of my videos, that I love it with my coffee. It definitely helps not snack. And I cannot say it all on my coffee because I do not want to ruin my coffee because I do quite like my coffees. But I cannot say it all. And I put, boiling hot water into it.
Sorry, the courier's here. Give me a second. Cut her up, but we can't hear it.
You're so funny. And I don't want to ruin.
Sorry.
Here I am trying to remember where I was up to.
Here's my bestie getting more presents sent to my house.
Awesome.
Won't send it to her husband.
It's so funny. And yes, I don't want to ruin my coffee at all, and it's super easy. Like I just put in the boiling hot water into there, and it doesn't clump or anything, and I just mix it like I'm mixing my normal coffee. So I'm all for that. But you can see the video because I want to show two different ones. But highly, highly recommend, and cannot taste it whatsoever. The only one I've ever not tasted. So yes, I am one of those people who have wasted hundreds of dollars on it.
I still have boxes of Optifast in my cupboard because I like the vanilla and my husband likes the chocolate. So he'll have the chocolate. But he's like, we have so much vanilla here. And I'm like, I literally have PTSD. I just can't do it. I don't need to. I can't do it. And he's like, but I don't like vanilla. And I'm like, well, well, I'm not going to have it. So I don't know what I'm going to do here.
It's so funny.
But yes, so I reckon there's a real, and I really do think like whey-based protein powders fall into this. There's a real kind of overhang effect from the pre-op diets, right? You have to do weeks and weeks of nasty Optifast, which is sickly sweet and just doesn't do anything for you. It's almost like drinking sawdust, really, I feel. And then yeah, it's pretty gross. And then you're like, oh, I need to be having protein, but I hate Optifast now, so what do I do? And so yeah, if you want a really good easy answer that you don't taste, chuck BariBody in your coffee. Like honestly is so stupidly simple, and it just makes life easier to hit those protein targets after surgery, hit those protein needs. Even like, you know, you need to be having protein. That is just our reality. You can't physically eat all the protein you need, so we need to be boosting it. And even long term, like it's not just around that first year. And I think that's a really big misconception, is that, you know, oh, I'm a year out now, I'm good. You're still limited in capacity. You're still not going to be able to eat the amount of protein that you need to get in. And long term, the ramifications are, you know, we talked about this in Success Club, but you're going to age quicker. If you aren't getting the protein in that your body needs to replicate cells, you're going to age quicker because the telomeres that are on the end of your DNA are just going to get shorter and shorter. So it is super important that we actually get the protein in to build our body, the literal building blocks of our body. So yeah, it is so important. Anyway, there's a bit of a side quest around protein, but it is so important. But yeah, if you want a sample, let us, I'll check the link below so you can check it out. Check out the new website, let me know what you think, and get that $5 off, so that you don't even have to think about it. It's just easy, yes. So yeah, I want to hear more around your acro aerobics, Maree, because I think that's an exciting post-op journey for you. That's been something new.
Yes, okay. So I have started being an aqua aerobics instructor, and I am absolutely loving it. I think what is so crazy is, so I've always enjoyed swimming. I actually hadn't swam for quite a few years, like actually like in the pool, and then even like after surgery, just I think I just got busy. I don't know, but you know, because I've lost over 90 kgs, I do have saggy skin, but I think because, you know, like, and it's like we were mentioning, you know, through the Success Club, I've really, like, I feel like my whole life is so different, and I've just gained so much confidence. I just absolutely love my body, and I'm just so proud, even of the saggy skin. So I've got like this class of like 30 people joining in this class, and they're all watching me for this hour, and I'm just smashing it with my aerobics, and you know, I'm getting an amazing workout, and because I get to pick the music as well, the music and the exercises, so it's just real fun, and it's 3 days a week, so it's just really awesome. But I think, yeah, the fact that I am doing it, you know, like it was just something that I
like, if I told you a year ago that you were doing this, would you believe me?
No, even 6 months ago, I wouldn't have. So, and I think that's what's so crazy. And how crazy, you know, and I know I've mentioned it to you before, but like people in the Success Club who are showing up, like their lives are changing in such a short amount of time. Like I only joined end of October and my life's changed. And there's others, like it doesn't take a long time, which, you know, you kind of would think that it would, but it actually doesn't. But if you show up, so you do have to show up for it to change. But yeah, it's just completely changed how I see myself, how I talk to myself, and I'm just, you know, so proud. Like even in the pools, I can see, you know, like I'll move my legs and I can see my saggy legs moving, and I'm just so proud of them. Like I'm just like, yes, you know, and then my arms, and you know, because I'm doing like the arm muscle, you know, movements, and I'm just so proud where I've come, and
You should
yeah,
be. You
yeah.
should be so proud because it's amazing. It's actually amazing. And, you know, I always like to do self-reflection when it comes to this kind of stuff. And you just look at, well, what would old me have thought of me doing this, or me, how my body is now, or any of that language that you're using with yourself. And it's like,
Mm.
she'd be so freaking proud. So
Yes.
proud. She is proud.
Yeah. And it's so crazy because, you know, like a lot of people have said that they're getting a really good workout, and it's like my body is doing that, you know, because I'm getting a really good workout, and I know that. But you know, like I also would have never believed that I could do that either. You know, like actually, am I fit enough to do, you know, like give this to them? But I am. So they're all loving it, and I'm loving it, and it's just so amazing. And the fact that my body is able to do that is so amazing. So.
And
Yeah.
like Maree, you left corporate to really you were done. You're like, this is not conducive with my health and my life.
Yeah.
And actually, I know you had like a big trust in the universe that it was going to provide, and these opportunities have just come to you, right? Like it's
Yes.
just so if you are kind of feeling stuck and miserable in the place that you're in right now, take this as your sign. This is your opportunity to do something different, to change it. You know, compared to when I met you, Maree, you're amazing back then, but I've never seen you so happy.
Yeah. I've never been so happy in my whole life. So, and like, yeah, just, and then to love myself like I do, like, and I just don't think I can really express exactly how I feel, but I feel really amazing and really happy and just, yeah, so excited for life. It's pretty crazy. I'm like on this whole different world of this great energy and oh, just abundance. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
I feel amazing.
I love it so much because, you know, even with life, like both of us, you know, life throws stuff at you all the time. But the reality is that the coping tools are there now. Like we didn't know what to do before. So the impulse, oh, well, this is how I cope is food.
Mm.
And now
Yep.
it's like, actually, I'm not, I might let that knock me over for a day. I might let that knock me over for a week, but I'm not letting that be the rest of my life.
No. And not a week either, no
No,
thanks.
no,
Quickly
no.
gets into a bit of a habit for me.
Yeah. I'm just aware that there'll be people
Yeah.
that are a little bit further
Yeah.
behind, and
Yeah.
even a day might feel a little bit daunting at the moment.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but that is the reality, is that the further you get into this mind work, the further you get into living this lifestyle, because that's what we teach, right? As a lifestyle,
Yeah.
the easier it becomes, the more ingrained. And, you know, we're 5 sessions a week. We are catching up 5 times a week. This club is like my family. Like I probably see more of you guys than I see of my own family. And so it really is just showing up for you, choosing you over and over and over again. Because chances are, if you're a woman listening to this, you've been on the back burner for a really long time. Maree in her corporate job, she was like, I'm done. I'm done being that person for everybody all the time. And actually, it's me. I need to prioritize me. I looked at going back to other nursing jobs, and nothing would reward me as much as what I do now. Nothing gives me as much joy and passion to show off my own life as this. Showing up, seeing my bariatric family 5 days a week. And even that, we're in the chat in the weekends too.
Yes.
So it's not even like we're gone over the weekends. We're just,
Yeah.
we're there for each other, and people get it, which is so cool.
It is. And I also don't think people realize, because I didn't realize how important and how much stress actually affects your weight. So there's not just the amount that goes in your brain, you know, when you're stressed and how that's just going around, but actually like the physical, you know, side of it and how that impacts the weight. So, and I think that's why I'm now the lightest year that I've ever been, because then I kept, you know, I've lost my regain and I've kept losing. And it's, yeah, just all of it, all these habits, all these tools, strategies that I've learned in the Success Club. But then the fact that I released the expectations of others, you know, and followed what I needed to follow for my health and well-being. And yeah, best thing I ever did. And you can't make a change without making a change, right? Like, don't expect your life to be any different if you're not going to do anything different. So,
yeah. And sometimes the things that are most uncomfortable will scare us the most are the best things that we ever decide to do.
Yes, and you'll be so proud of yourself. Like, yeah, look
Yeah,
big and be
if you're
proud.
loving what we're talking about around the Success Club, I will check the link below as well for the
Yeah.
Success Club. No pressure. Or actually I'll check a link to booking with Maree and you can chat about it a little bit more and she can talk around options for coaching. But equally, if not, just keep listening along because we've always got lots of yarns to have, eh, Maree?
We do.
We need to bring some others in so it's not just us talking about random stuff, but I'm sure it's interesting. But
It's
yeah,
interesting for us anyway.
it is. It is. We love a good chat. Any excuse not to do work, right? Oh, funny. All right. Well, on that note, I reckon that's a good place to sign off for this episode of the BariBabes podcast. Please grab your BariBody protein. Keep sipping. Look at Success Club because we want you there. We want you part of our family. You get to see us every day. Why would you not want to see us every day? And yeah, I will check those links below. Have an amazing time and catch you on the next episode. Bye, guys.
Yeah. Oh, we're just so good at this.